Hello everybody, it's Jen. Welcome back to another 10 card video. This time I'm featuring My Funny Valentine by Pebbles. I'm using the 6x6 paper pad. I've already taken out most of the papers to get my cards ready, but I'll show you a little bit of the pad there. I'm using the die cut pack, and I also had a 12x12 cut apart sheet with 3x4 cards on it. So jumping into card number 1, I'm going to be using the cute little 3x4 card with the alien ship that says, "You're out of this world." And the stars are Heidi Swap star dies, and I just used some cardstock paper to cut those out with. So I am going to be donating these cards to the Cards for the Heart card drive. And I found out about this card drive through Crafty. Her YouTube channel is Crafty Gets Crafty. If you don't already follow her, I'll leave her channel link below. She makes amazing cards. I've been following her for years, and I absolutely love her card designs. So she's been doing this now for several years, and I wanted to participate, so I thought I would grab this paper pad and die cut pack that I had in my stash from last year that I never used, and I would create some cards. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the card drive. So originally it was to benefit kids at the St. Jude's Hospital, but last year they collected over 7,000 cards and sent them to 21 hospitals, 2 foster homes, and 1 nursing home. So that touched the lives of many and gave them a cute little Valentine Day card to let them know that someone out there in the world has thought about them. So I encourage you to participate if you have some extra cards laying around, or you just want to create some Valentine cards. There's no minimum on the number of cards you could send, so even if you just wanted to send 1 card, that would be great. So there are some rules that apply which affected how I design these cards. So we're already on to card number 2. And as you'll see here, I'm using a lot of cardstock, a lot of die cuts, and that's because you can't have any embellishments on the card, such as buttons or sequins or enamel dots or anything that could be pulled off by a child and swallowed. The other thing is no glitter at all. That's the hospital rule, so it can affect breathing. So I dug out what I could and designed some cards using almost all dies, and then some cardstock and what I had from the collection. So this one here, I'm doing a simple circle pattern here with some inside out stitched circle dies from Simon Says Stamp, and then I used the wonky stitch die for my background focal paper, and then the little die cut that I'm using on this one is so cute. It's an apple, and it says, "You're absolutely awesome." So most of the cards, my embellishment, just to give them a little bit something extra, is going to be glossy accents. So you'll see me bring that in quite a bit. But I will just go over this in case you want to make some cards. And we'll be moving on to card number 3 here in a second. So no buttons, glitter, glitter pens, glitter glue, stickles, wink of Stella, sequins, rhinestones, brads, googly eyes, or anything that looks glittery or can be peeled off and become a choking hazard. So I know that might be hard for some of us, but it also is a good challenge for yourself, because I think we get used to having all these great embellishments that are available to us now. And so this really helped me think outside the box. So for this card, I used the heart paper down the side. I cut out this banner die just freehand. And then I'm using this little pizza. This is a little die cut that came in the package. And it says, "You've stolen a pizza, my heart." This is a heart die. This is an old Amy Tangerine heart die that I pulled out to use just to add some other embellishments. And then I used a Martha Stewart punch with a bunch of little hearts, and then I'm going to use that to decorate and place them where I may traditionally have put sequins or enamel dots or Nouveau drops or something like that. So I did cut out this little arrow. This is from the same die set as the heart from Amy Tangerine. And then you're going to see me here place on the little hearts, and then we'll move on to card number 4. So in terms of the card sizes, they need to be A2 size or a little bit smaller, but they can't be bigger. And you do not need to include any envelopes. They will be going into clear envelopes to make it easier for those who are handing them out to see the cards. You can include a message on the inside, so I just stamped Happy Valentine's Day on the inside of all of the cards. But it needs to be something Valentine's related, nothing to do with reminding them of being sick. And then when you sign it, you can sign your first name and which state only, so not a city. So for me, I will put my province, Nova Scotia, and then Canada. And you can't include anything related to your blog or YouTube channel or email address or website or anything. It needs to remain anonymous. So make sure not to put anything on the back that would reveal kind of more than just your first name. So with this card, I'm just doing another simple design. That XOXO is also from the Amy Tangerine die set that I have, so I got a lot of use out of that. And I ended up die cutting it out of fun foam as well and placing it on that just to give it some dimension. And then this little cute die cut piece, You Make My Heart Melt. And then this is the smaller heart that comes in the Amy Tangerine die cut set as well. And I'm just going to place 3 of those just so that, you know, there's an odd number and kind of things in 3s are appealing to the eye. So I'm going to stick that on, get my glossy accents out again, and then I believe we're going to move on to, I think we're already at card number 5. So I will leave the address below of where to send the cards, and I will link to the blog post. It's Winter Sims, and her blog is Winter Wonderland Crafter, and she's the one that does all the kind of sorting and getting ready to mail these out, and so I want to thank her for that. I will leave all that information in the description box below. So this card's super simple. I love that pattern paper. It reminded me of a tablecloth that you would use for a picnic, and I simply put on this 3x4 card, You're the Jam, and then the Happy Valentine's Day cutout that came in the die cuts pack. Now that original one was from the 12x12 cut apart sheet, and then there was also the same little icon in the die cut, so I wanted to make another card because I thought it was so cute. So again, I just cut out these banners freehand, and I'm going to stick them to the left hand side of the card. And then I put this one down and realized that I wanted this second one behind the white one, so I just have to lift that up a little bit, but it's not a big deal. I cut out that circle with a simple circle die on some brown cardstock, and that will back my image. I just wanted to bring some of the brown in from the toast or the piece of bread, and so I think that just gives it a little bit of a pop of color. Plus, I just really love pink and brown together. So once we get that adhered, I'm going to use a little bit of glossy accents again. I think I just put it, no, this one I do the jam. The other one I had just done the hearts, and this one I use the glossy accents on the actual jam. So moving on to the next card, I've lost track of where I am, but what card number we're on here. But I'm just going to use this scallop die and then a circle die. So this is just some red cardstock from my stash, and I'm going to put that center on the paper. I love that heart paper, it's so pretty. This piece of the pattern paper I'm going to center up over the scallop die, and that just gives a nice simple background. And then I'm using this die cut and I put it on some fun foam, and it says, "I choose you to be my Valentine," which is so cute with the bubblegum machine. So I'm just going to center that. And these little hearts also came in the die cut pack, so I wanted to use them. They went perfectly with the little heart bubble gums in the gumball machine, so I'm just going to put those on. And that'll be my embellishment for that card. I will use glossy accents on the glass part of the bubblegum machine, and that will be it. So just show you that really quickly, and then we'll move on to the next card. So for the next card, I'm using my corner rounder. You'll see here I'm going to corner round the card base. The card bases I use are from Joann. They're pre-made. I just find it easier to have them handy. Sometimes I will create my card bases, but for the most part, I just find this so much more easy. So this is a very light pale blue cardstock that I dug out of my stash to match the cup lid on the cup that I'm going to use for this card. And so I'm putting down this paper as the kind of main backdrop of the card. I thought it kind of reminded me of newspaper print, and seeing the sentiment is your extra special. It just kind of reminded me of the old like extra when we were talking about newspapers and stuff way back in the day, right? So I'm just using this 3x4 card. I used a strip of pattern paper there just to give it something on the back. This is a heart die from Paper Smooches. It's a coffee cup die, and this is the heart that came in it, but it was really a perfect size for this card. And again, I'm going to embellish with 3 hearts. And I cut out, so one way to kind of add something extra to plain and simple cards is trying to die cut them out. So I used the Lawn Fawn stitched 3x4 journaling card and put it over top of this pre-made 3x4 card just to give it a stitching detail, which I thought added a little something extra. So you can try to be creative when your options are kind of limited in terms of how you can embellishment a card. This card I'm using a lot of layers, so I used a lot of stitched rectangle dies by Lawn Fawn. This orange colored cardstock here is a scalloped border rectangle die. That comes from the Blueprints 27 by My Favorite Things, and if you watched my 2017 favorite videos, that die set was my favorite die of the year, and so it's no surprise it's making an appearance now. So the die cut for this card is "You Are Officially Awesome," which is so cute. And then I'm just going to add a Happy Valentine's Day die cut piece that came in the pack as well, popping it up on some fun foam. I really thought this collection led well to simple, clean cards, but also were really sweet, punny, cute sentiments for kids that I could send in for the card drive. So I had a lot of fun making these cards. We had lost power. We had a really big storm here on the east coast of Canada. It was called the Winter Bomb Cyclone. And we had lost power it was about 26 hours over kind of 2 days. So while I had some natural light, I took the time out to die cut all these things and to kind of lay out my card ideas. So that really helped. and cut down the length of this video. So had a lot of fun doing that. Now for this card, I had these 3 strips of pattern paper left over, and instead of kind of keeping them in my stash forever, not knowing what to do with them, I decided to use the 3 of them to make a background paper. And I really like the way that came out. This card is very simple as well. I'm just going to be featuring a 3x4 cut apart as the main kind of focus of the card. But the paper is so cute that it gives a lot of added extras without having to do much. This is a fancy scalloped rectangle die. This is a lawn fawn die as well, and I just cut that out using some pink cardstock. So I just tried to use as many different things as I could to frame the cut apart pieces so that they weren't, you know, completely on their own, but had a little bit of a design element to them. So I'm just going to also stick some hearts down, bringing back those Amy Tangerine heart dies, and I'm going to put those to the bottom right of the corner. And we're going to be finishing card number 10 already. So I am going to show you all these cards here after I get this in place. And I'm using a bit of a glazed jelly roll pen here for the eyes, just to have them pop a little bit. So here are the cards. I think the You're Out of This World is one of my favorites. I do really like the pizza one as well. But I think they all are very different and cute, and so I encourage you to, if you have the means, to consider donating some cards to the card drive. I want to thank everybody for watching. I appreciate all of you who take the time out to watch my videos, especially the 10 card videos, which I know are longer. I'm really looking forward to 2018. I have lots of new and exciting things coming up this year, so stay tuned, and I will be hopefully doing some more Valentine's Day cards, and then I'm hopping into maybe some winter themed cards, and I still want to do that cat series, so maybe I can get a jump on that as well. Thanks again, everybody, and I will see you later.